Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Friday the 29th of November. The next step of an inquiry into the New Zealand pandemic response begins today. Phase 1 of the Royal Commission finds the government made hard decisions quickly, but some vaccine requirements were applied too broadly and the transition out of an elimination strategy was not communicated. Phase 2 of the inquiry is now being held as part of the ACT National Coalition deal. Internal Affairs Minister Brooke Van Velden says some people were unsettled. The government in charge set the terms of reference.
People really wanted to look into vaccine mandates and vaccine safety that have a far stronger focus on the effect on business, on education and other forms of healthcare.
Whooping cough cases have surpassed 1,000 this year and are continuing to climb. Health New Zealand's reported there were 77 cases across the country last week, including 4 hospitalisations. The government wants to bring in legislation which would remove about 3.4% of the workforce of the ability to lodge an unjustified dismissal claim. It would affect anyone earning more than $180,000 a year. The change will be progressed through the Employment Relations Amendment Bill, with the intention of bringing it in next year. In a year's time, under-16s in Australia will no longer be allowed to access social media. The Australian Senate has passed laws banning them from accessing the platforms. The ban will come into force at the end of next year. Social media companies will face fines if they fail to take reasonable steps to keep children off. Senior researcher at a Koitu Centre for Informed Futures, Dr Felicia Lowe, told Kerry Woodham parents need to be able to have a say in what their children are doing.
Sometimes it can be easier if there is a more top-down approach where, there is a law in place. So it's not something that children can argue against.
A big step forward in preventing bank scams. The rollout of the confirmation of payee service has started. Kiwis will now need to enter both the account name and number of the person they're sending money to. The new system will then check if the name entered matches the recipient's bank records, showing if it's a full, partial or no match. All banks will be using it by April. Implementer Get Verified CEO Duncan Robertson says it won't block people from making payments even if the name doesn't match.
We'll essentially tell them, is the person, the account number and name that I put in matching the payee name from the recipient bank?
More than 300 people have already been in touch with the Ministry of Regulation's Red Tape Tip Line, which launched last week. The online resource lets people make submissions on how excessive regulation affects them. To sport, golf's much-hyped PGA Tour Live match-up next month will offer a purse worth a minimum of $17 million in cryptocurrency. Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler will compete against Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau. A lucky escape for Manchester United in football's Europa League, coming from 2-1 down to beat Norwegian club Bodo Glimt 3-2. And Tottenham conceded late to draw 2-2 at home against Roma. And the All Whites have risen to 89th in the FIFA World Rankings, their highest spot since 2016. I'm Malcolm Jordan, that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.